It's time for the WAFit 2023 Power Panel 2, the topic for which is AI in Action at Automotive Retail. And for this, I would like to invite once more on stage Mr. Anuj Guglani, founder and CEO, WAF Group. Please also welcome Mr. Dilip Chenoy, Chairman, Bharat Web3 Association. With the distinction of being appointed the first chairman at Bharat Web3 Association, Mr. Chenoy has extensive experience in leading domestic industry bodies. He is a veteran in the policy domain and has been instrumental in promoting skill development. He was formerly Secretary General at FICCI, MD and CEO at the National Skills Development Corporation, Director General at Shriram, and Deputy Director General of the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII. He also consults and advises startups, including organizations in the digital, education, skills, and livelihood space. Please also welcome Mr. Manish Panjwani, CTO, Shriram Automall. Mr. Panjwani is a seasoned executive with a proven track record of increasing stakeholder value through strategic planning, technological capabilities, delivery management, operational excellence, general management, and building a high-performance workforce. He specializes in spectrum of technologies such as data science, machine learning and artificial intelligence, generative AI, cybersecurity, blockchain, metaverse, etc. He also steers R&D initiatives and collaborations with IIT Delhi. Mr. Panjwani has been recognized with many industry awards, which include Global CIO 100, CTO of the Year, Innovative 100, and Employee of the Year. I would also like to invite Commander Aditya Varma, retired Indian Navy. Commander Varma is an executive cadre Indian Navy veteran and professional with 21 plus years of information communication technology, cybersecurity and compliance, supply chain operations, and HR training management experience. He is presently leading a strategic program for digital transition, innovation, and transformation in disruptive technologies. A graduate of the National Defence Academy, Pune, Commander Varma has a Master's in Business Administration from Deakin University, Australia. Please also welcome Mr. Rajeev Taneja, CIO and Operating Head, IT, Honda Motorcycle and Scooter, India. Mr. Taneja is an engineering graduate and also a qualified safety officer. He has been associated with HMSI since its inception in the year 2000 and has been a key member in setting up the Greenfield project based on Honda's best practices adopted worldwide. With a strong business background of 29 years in managing the various domains of automobile manufacturing, including production and support functions such as plant engineering and EHS, he has been instrumental in laying the foundation of digital transformation at HMSI. Please also welcome Mr. Yogender Verma, CEO, Carzonrent. Driven by a passion about creating technology and with a work experience spanning technologies across the spectrum, Mr. Varma has made a mark in industries like logistics, personal transportation, education, e-commerce, IT, and telecom. Presently, he takes care of the exhaustive end-to-end technology and the associated business needs at Carzonrent to drive growth through technology disruption. A mentor and team player, he is continuously driven by the passion of using technology as an enabler of business and innovation to scale technology-led businesses. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our panelists with a round of applause. Thank you. Over to you, Anuj.
Thank you so much, Anita ma'am. So friends, ये तो इंट्रोडक्शन थी फॉर्मल वाली. अब शॉर्ट में अगर इंट्रो दूं तो मैं वहाँ से शुरू करता हूँ. हमारे बीच हैं इंडिया की लार्जेस्ट कार रेंटल कंपनी के CEO, ठीक है. हमारे साथ हैं CIO ऑफ वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट टू व्हीलर कंपनी इन द कंट्री. हमारे साथ हैं Indian Navy के veteran commander साहब, you know the best brains always work with the government. The best and the latest technology always comes to the government and the forces. Yes or no? Internet भी कैसे आया था? So people like Commander Saab have worked on the best and cutting through technology. What kind of AI, what kind of security, वो सब बातें करेंगे. We have, I think Limca book record का आ गया वो? Limca book record. They have records in being one of the largest platforms of used vehicles and also machines for auction. And they're a publicly listed company. And of course, we have Sir, who has been the former DG of the apex body of Indian Automotive Manufacturers, CAM. So post lunch, अगर किसी को नींद आ रही है, तो इनको देख के अपनी नींद को बोलो, okay, टाटा bye bye, because you cannot ask for a better panel, okay, post lunch, and the topic is automotive retail. You know, जितनी मर्जी हम production, manufacturing, planning कर लें, eventually the buck stops at the retail. When the vehicle is bought, vehicle is sold, there is a person who's representing a multi-billion-dollar brand, and that guy, if he or she is not happy or satisfied or motivated, the entire brand goes for a 6. So how are we implementing AI in retail? And by retail, it's not just a showroom. Yes, it's a showroom, but also it is a lot of background work, logistics, dispatches, demand forecasting, planning. All right. Matching the, as they say, model type option color MTOC. You know, sir, ये गाड़ी तो अभी waiting पे है, ये गाड़ी अभी नहीं मिलेगी, ये color अभी available नहीं है. You know, how do you manage these things? When they are done by just a humans, you reach X position. When they are emulated by AI, you reach a Y position. When both work together and you have AI and ML both working, then the computer is training and learning, you can go to the next level. तो उसी पे हमें चर्चा करनी है, how are we doing actual use cases of AI at retail? All right. So if we can begin with Rajeev Taneja san, so he is the CIO of Honda motorcycle scooter, you know. The biggest plant of Honda motorcycle scooter in the world is now in India for last several years now. Yes, sir? Rajeev san, is that correct?
Second largest.
Second largest. I thought first. Indonesia was the largest now.
No, so for world it is India, India, HMSI, Honda is the number one when it comes to the world front, but when it comes to India, HMSI is the second largest.
The plant of Honda biggest in the world is Bangalore one? वो वाला नहीं है?
Yeah, it's the Bangalore one, yeah.
So the largest plant of Honda motorcycle scooter in India is in India, it's near Bangalore, and they have multiple plants. So, sir, you are empowering technology, latest high-end tech, end-to-end. So, when it comes to retail, पहली बात तो retail का number कब आता है AI? जब AI की हम list बनाते हैं, तो retail सबसे ऊपर है, सबसे नीचे है, बीच में है या है ही नहीं. तो retail में क्या AI हो रही है अगर आप इस पर थोड़ी रोशनी डालें?
Okay, thank you for having me here, Anuj. So I just will start from a small background, about the journey of AI in HMSI. So as we all know, the big data remains the basic ingredient for any AI modeling. So it started post COVID. There was a lot of data available in the company in silos, but then data is available, but how to use this data? So there was an ask from the board that how can we have access to the real-time information, when it comes to retail, when it comes to dispatches, it comes to factory stock and the production. So how can we have that real-time information, on our fingertips? And that is how the foundation for digital transformation was taken. So we wanted to create a intelligent and connected enterprise where data, processes, and people are all digitally connected. Okay, that was a vision statement which we identified, and then we created a kind of cockpit, digital cockpit for the management. Like pilot has a control over the aircraft, so he has a cockpit in front of him, and similarly we wanted to give this cockpit on real-time basis to the management, where you have all these data available. And that is how we gave this, four main important, KPIs, which is retail, production, dispatches and stock on real-time basis on the mobile. And whether you are at home and you're on move, you can have access to all this data. And it helped us in, data-driven decision making. So now all our, senior leaders, they have access to this data. So retail is the most important thing, which is there.
So, इसमें Rajeev san, a follow question, like in the first panel also we discussed that this is AI is an opportunity of the millennia. This is the time when all the MSME large corps can come at par. So when it comes to the automotive dealers, especially in the two-wheeler segment, most they are MSME. They are smaller enterprises relatively. So what are we doing as an industry and or as a company to empower their data-driven decision-making powered by AI, the dealers across the country?
Yeah, so these dashboards which I was talking, it is also made available to dealers. Okay, now some of the dashboards, not all of them, but some of the dashboards, are also made available, like retail, is also available, to them, based on their geographical, this thing. And another area where we actually, done a lot of work is on the dispatch side. Okay, so we created, a kind of a dispatch allocation planning using a AI modeling, wherein, so there was a lot of challenges, like, we have different models. So we call it in, Honda, we call it MTOC model, type,
Exactly.
options and colors. So, there are a lot of complexities in terms of, we have over 1,000 plus dealers. We have this MTOC. We have, we make this dispatch plan, on fortnightly basis. So how do you, actually take care of this? So this is a humongous data which is available. And if you have to, work on this, so actually it was basically being done by human intelligence.
So something on demand forecasting, if you have used certain AI models, some algorithms.
So not on the demand forecasting, but yes, on the dispatch allocation side. And also on the, the second thing which we did was basically on the, freight logistics, freight optimization.
Okay, fair enough. And Rajeev san, something on the showroom experience, perhaps, like when the customer enters the showroom. So, there are lots of studies being done with AI-enabled cameras, sensors, which product the customer goes to first, or, customer might not go directly to the product where he or she might be interested. They kind of have a path, and eventually they reach the product of their interest, and then how much time the receptionist or the salesperson is taking to reach out to them, or they get greeted, or there's meet and greet, or they at least get acknowledged. Their presence gets acknowledged. Many times, customers' presence doesn't get acknowledged in the showroom when they're waiting and waiting. So some AI cameras or sensors or some data if you have on the showroom experience of customer, perhaps.
So not exactly we have done something on that front, but we created a virtual showroom on the website. So customer, before going to the dealership, he can experience, have a 360-degree round of the product on the website. So that kind of virtual showroom has been created. But yes, this is in the pipeline. So on the dealership front, we have not put anything as of now.
That of course we all know about Honda. They don't do anything for formality. अगर करते हैं तो ढंग से करते हैं, and they do it with the purpose and to sustain. So coming to you now, Yogender. So the best part of having Yogender on the panel is he is also the CIO of his organization, not just the CEO. So he was the CIO, and now he's wearing two hats, CIO and CEO. So first of all, we will ask him, how does it feel to have two hats? Because CIO and CEO is not that common a combination. Second, does his company perceive him as a geeky CEO that he's always after tech, or it's also tech and business both balanced? And of course, Yogender, what kind of AI technologies are you implementing at Carzonrent to give your corporates and customers a better experience?
Sure. Thanks, Anuj. So actually, I was the CTO at Carzonrent, and Carzonrent, in fact, that shows that graduating a CTO to be the CEO. So that shows the focus Carzonrent. Industry knows that Carzonrent has always been a technology-focused company. And when you were mentioning about this demand forecasting, so we are actually using AI and machine learning. On the face of it, it might look that car rental is just like a car is booked and then maybe you go from point A to point B, and then that's it. But no, it's way beyond that, right from the planning, So because we need exhaustive planning, because it's a premium car rental service, so it's not like ride hailing where you have kind of, a paradigm of practically infinite uniformly distributed supply and infinite uniformly distributed demand, and you can just mix and match it. So in this case, the premium car rental service, the demand is concentrated, not just spatially, as in terms of geography, in terms of the time of the day. So then we have to use, and when we use technology, it was never to use it for the sake of it, for name droppings in such events. For us, it was always a need-driven use case. So we had to do extensive planning, demand forecasting, and that to generate heat maps for a given location for the upcoming demand, say in the next few hours, so that we could actually locate our inventory, as per the upcoming demand. So that planning is done. Then, of course, the way the customer interact with us. So we would want to give them, maybe a WhatsApp chat bot. We want to process their emails automatically. So it could be a templatized email, then it's fine. But if it's a natural language email, then so we are experimenting with NLP. So that you just write an email, and the system should be able to create a booking out of it. So that's done there. Then in our operational flows, ensuring the quality. So again, as I said, no, it's not ride hailing where a cab turns up, and if it's dirty, it is dirty. We can't afford that, because we don't lose one customer. We are at the risk of losing the entire client. So, that way it's like for us, we are using AI, machine learning, all to solve these use cases.
So Yogender, you mentioned about the heat maps and putting your cars, your inventory where the demand is. Right. So I'm now going to ask a little tough question. And it's not pointed towards your organization, but at large at the industry. Because there have been cases, and I will not name the names of the companies. So, we were talking about AI, ethical AI, unethical AI. There's nothing called as unethical AI. AI is AI. ये तो आपकी नियत पे आप कैसे use करते हो. So there have been certain companies which use AI or technology for not ulterior motive, but for generating more profit. For example, if I'm ordering a cab from a normal phone, I'll be given an X rate. If I'm ordering from an iPhone, I'll be charged a higher rate. The AI engine see that is a lady, she's stuck in a CBD area, she has to get back home, it's getting late. So she might book the cab at any rate, so you can probably charge a higher surge. So stuff like that, if you start using AI for earning more money because the customer might or would surely cave in. So what are your thoughts on that?
So again, it is dependent upon the industry you are in. Of course, there is a possibility that you can, because the technology does not differentiate. So one can definitely manipulate things to maybe to generate more profit and all. But again, it depends on the blueprint of your company, the culture, the kind of like an ecosystem you have, and of course to an extent your use cases. So we are primarily a B2B company. So in reality a B2B2C company, because the ultimate user of our service is that individual employee. So it's focused on that individual. But still, because the entire contracting and entire kind of things are settled with the corporate, so that fluctuation is not in our case. So we still use all this technology to serve our customers better. We are not in that category. It's like
Fair enough. Yeah. So you rightly mentioned that all these things, all these jumlas are possible by using technology. It's no great deal. It all boils down to your intention, and that you're not using it. Fantastic. So coming to Dilip sir. So Dilip sir, currently you are holding the position of the chairperson of Bharat Web3. So something on the crypto and the AI link, if you can share, and from your decades of experience and also being in the automotive industry, which has always been your first love. So how do you see the AI at retail panning out?
Thank you, Anuj, and thank you for having me here. After lunch, you said, na, sona nahi chahiye and all. Okay, how many of you people have websites? Just raise your hands. Kitne paas website hai? Or bhi honge? Everybody is having a website? Okay. How many of you use search engine optimization, SEO? कितने use करते हैं? So all of you are using artificial intelligence, by the way. How many of you are using chatbots? Again, all of you are using artificial intelligence. So, without having anything, even non-retail, retail, mostly chatbots at the retail end of the customer facing. So all of you are using artificial intelligence. Now, Anuj talked about these car companies using algorithms to enable. This is a company in Bangalore called Drive, right? Started by a young girl, 25,000 cabs. It's based on blockchain and Web3 technology. You get directly connected to the cab driver. You have your own smart contract that determines the fare. Nobody can control it, and you go. Based on artificial intelligence, right? So what is happening now, very, very clearly, is what was centralized, right? And which is causing a problem to all of us because somebody central had the ability to control prices or do something. Even an OEM, right? Decentralized technology is now enabling smart contracts that create a level playing field for all of us to be able to get and optimize our, monetize our kind of time that we spend. So I gave you example of the car. Now, if I look at, he especially asked me about Web3 technology and retail, right? So anyone owns a Thar in the audience? Right? So did you get an NFT with the Thar? Non-fungible token. So Mahindra has actually started an NFT with Thar, right? And it'll be very interesting use case for Shriram Technologies because they deal with second-hand cars and they have a white label product which might go out of business because of this, right? Okay, because all the history of that particular Thar is linked to the NFT. So if it is sold in the secondary market, right, the history of the vehicle will go. By the way, it started with Nike sneakers. I don't know how many of you know that Nike sneakers, second-hand, a sneaker worn by Michael Jordan sells for a huge amount in the secondary market. How do you enable a fake thing to actually go, right? Now, this technology can also be applied to spare parts, right? So if you apply
Spurious
that,
ones.
every genuine thing has an NFT, right? So when you want to go and you can check with that NFT and the whole kind of actually thing happens there. So the artificial intelligence, as they call it, is one thing. And I also was very recently on the jury for the Web3, for the FADA awards, retail awards. I saw 3 use cases where people have developed local level products based on machine learning, which have been adopted by the OEs. Okay? And so it's not necessarily the OEs will develop a product that will be used by retailers, but retailers have actually developed products, including in spare parts management, etc., going forward. So there is, one, everybody is using artificial intelligence in some form already. 2, the decentralized and Web3 space will actually enable you to get and maintain customers. If all dealerships were put NFTs for the time a customer came back to the dealership, first free service, second free service, third service, first paid, second, third, and you start, allowing it to be traded across service centers, then you'll find an entire new ecosystem developing in this system.
So, Dilip sir, one quick question. In the NFT which goes with every Thar, that also automatically updates the service history of the vehicle, does it?
Currently, Tech Mahindra has developed that for that, but it's just to get the authenticity, but you can. If the dealer develops an app, it's very simple to do, right? NFT in very simple terms is a QR code, right? But a little more to that. I'm just being very simple. You could link it to service, you could link it to anything that you want, right?
Because service history is something which the OEMs keep too close to their chest, so they don't share that easily. So if it is being shared now via an NFT, so A, it's a very authenticated way of sharing, and B, it's a giant leap for any OEM to do that.
So, I think the relationship between a car owner and the OE and the service station, right, and the point of service, because now, given waterless servicing and other things, the point of service may be very much different, very prevalent in two-wheelers at this point of time, but will go to the four-wheeler segment. The whole dynamics will shift. You will see, because the person who has lifelong ownership of the customer and a more value to be lost if the customer goes away from her or him is the dealer.
I think it's. I think what you've just said, Dilip sir, it set me thinking personally. I think it can be a worthwhile idea to talk to all the OEMs and get this NFT thing in place in whatever way they are comfortable to begin with, and slowly, kind of widen the canvas. I think it gets workable.
Actually, I was talking to someone who's in the audience, and he works with an IT firm, and they were talking about Hyundai and Shah Rukh Khan, right? So, if you're brand ambassador, most of the OEs have
Brand ambassador.
a brand ambassador, right? Now, if you were to say every time you visit a website or you buy a product or you go for a service, you can download a token into your wallet. And if you got X number of tokens, you come to my vehicle lounge. If you got Z number of tokens, you come to my vehicle lounge and you take a selfie with my brand ambassador. So how do you actually build customer loyalty and build brand love actually through using decentralized technology here going forward?
Fantastic. So I think these are, these are clearly transformative ideas. These things change the world. And I can challenge if you would have heard these kind of concepts or breathtaking ideas anywhere else. That is why we were always saying, let the relevant people be there in the audience. On a Saturday, you people are listening to NFTs on the Thar and how they can be done up in the industry. So you've already done something amazing. Now, let's take these beautiful words and dialogues to action. So, Manish, coming to you, you are one of the largest platforms for auction of used vehicles, used equipment, and you are specializing in your auction centers, those brick and mortar, plus also those digital, auctions that you've been doing. In fact, you won't believe during all the lockdowns, while most of us were busy at home and doing Zoom calls, they were probably using Zoom calls in the best way. They were doing all their auctions online across the country. And that video, that live stream video is still there on YouTube. I saw it myself. There were like hundreds of SAMIL, Shriram Automall centers, which were together online simultaneously, and the digital and online auctions were happening. So what kind of technologies, Manish, are you using? And I would not say that AI mein kya kar rahe ho, but is AI really worthwhile in your business? And if yes, what is it?
Sure. Thanks, Anuj, for having me at WAFit today. So yes, we are the India's number one, I would say, largest pre-owned digital marketplace. With this, we bring physical auction and the online auctions, for our customers. This is where, this technology plays a vital role. And it started off pretty much in during the COVID time, and that was the survival for us, for the entire business for us as a technology. And with bringing more reliable sort of a technology which will ensure streaming to our customers. I think the important part is not just the it's not an online auction, but physical auction. There are two places customers are there, and the bids, like in auction, a lot of bids comes, and bids come from both physical also and online also. So we kind of merge that experience together, make it a sort of phygital, and broadcast it for our customers. This was quite a unique thing, and we have been awarded for that also multiple times. And I mean, not only this, but I think there were a lot of other technologies that we built to support that, was more for our customers. You know, we are talking about the pre-owned vehicle, which is a used vehicle, which has, you know, every vehicle is unique. With every unique vehicle, you know, it doesn't come with the MRP sort of a thing, like, you know, what's the on-road price, what we call otherwise. Here we
It
are.
comes with an MNP, maximum negotiable price.
Maximum negotiable price, absolutely. And we kind of built machine learning models using our 12 years of experience and millions of data, and we built the Price X product, which is the price prediction engine, and it is not a flat sort of a thing, prediction, but it has also got, you know, there are different sources of inventory. Sometimes it comes from the OEM, sometimes it comes from the, you know, retails, sometimes it comes from the insurance. So it comes from the different sources, and a vehicle can be sold at different prices at different geographies. So
Of course, the tax structure is
yes,
still
so
so
everything
different.
put together, you know, sort of brought in the technology, and it was given to the customer, and it helps to actually close the deals, close the sales faster, right? It's just an add-on technology for our customers and everyone.
So do you mean, Manish, that these price point predictors, they get a lot of validation in the negotiation and selling process?
Absolutely. That becomes sometimes even a reserve price for us, you know, sort of a thing. Or our customers also, you know, understand this is a market price sort of a thing. So, I mean, that's just one of the technology. At the same time, visual inspection. Through the Android inspection, we do a lot of these AIs for, you know, to ascertain the condition, the exterior condition of the vehicle, sort of a thing.
So you know, that is something very interesting, because you know a lot of companies are doing visual inspection, whether at the final quality in the plant or outside. Like a lot of cab companies are also doing, you know, subscription companies, before giving and after receiving. They run quick scans twice. But then most of the time it has been seen they are using some special camera with a special resolution, and then it has to be transferred. So is all that gone? Can we use a simple mobile phone
Absolutely.
connected to the app and it works seamlessly?
No, absolutely, it works seamlessly, and you just need the right data, right models. I think the important aspect is the first model may take lesser time, but the accuracy would take most of the time. This is where we work with IIT Delhi, who is our you know, our partner in R&D, and we kind of, you know, make it a more precise output for us. So not just these, but you know, other new use cases. For example, you know, we've been seeing at the CRM or customer experience, where a lot of these discussions which happens with our customers, all the recordings gets automatically, you know, scanned for its tone, for its language, and so all sort of a thing. Instead, it's not someone manually reviewing the conversation. So we are ensuring quality also, in the customer interaction quality also, through some of these AI technologies.
So when you spoke about the vehicle inspection, can that be a great opportunity for Made in India, for India and the world? Because I'm drawing a parallel. A lot of doctors, when they pass out after MBBS, you know, whether it's their JR or SR, they prefer working in a government hospital. कि यहाँ पे बड़ा एक्सपोजर मिलेगा, यहाँ बड़े पेशेंट आएंगे, बड़ी वैरायटी मिलेगी, हाथ साफ हो जाएगा. I'm sorry, I'm using some, you know, colloquial words. Similarly, in India, sadly, a lot of accidents happen. So in fact, you know, once I was in Europe, and there I was surprised to see a car workshop. It did not have a body paint facility. They said the cars hardly get knocked. We can't afford to have a body paint. It won't be viable. And on the contrary, in India, you cannot imagine an OEM workshop not having a body paint, because that's the biggest source of income and profitability. So because the cars get banged, so kind of those damages and dents, and if we have the data on that, because data is everything in how you feed, how it learns, can this be a ready-to-use model for the world as well? Because they would not have that much data on the crashes.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, like we earlier in the panel also discussed. Earlier in the panel also discussed that you know, these are pretty much open source frameworks, and the most it takes is to you know, make it more accurate. And sometimes it's not just a one particular framework, but multiple technologies put together. I think for our kind of a business in the retail business, where every product is so unique, just a one, putting a vision AI for all the location for 40,000 vehicles is probably not going to work. Because every vehicle is so unique and it's a vast facility. So we probably need sort of a newer technology, is probably parallel reality maybe, where, we have recently seen at Detroit airport, you scan your boarding pass and it's so personalized, where at the main dashboard you see your name, your distance to the, your gate, and you see, all the information. Otherwise, what will happen? We scan through these 10 screens and we look for our flight. It's not like that. Here it is so precise that even in that place, if there are hundreds of people and everyone is looking at the same board, but it is giving personalized output.
So now no more that can be used as an excuse to miss the flight. It was too cluttered. I took time to find out my flight.
So similar use cases for SAML, where we can deliver the personalized sort of information back to our customer, and we are so the beauty of this is it does not require any gadget, it does not require an app, does not require anything. It's pretty much low touch sort of
Fair enough. So now coming to Commander Saab has been patiently waiting for his turn, and I on purpose thought of getting him in the end because his learning engine can imbibe everything about the industry, so that learning would be activated. And second, Commander Saab, ये सब बातें तो हम करते रहते हैं, but we would love to know कि defense forces में, without of course giving out any classified detail, but what are the kind of exciting things that have been done, which might be already in the public domain, but अभी हम कितने पीछे हैं AI में, थोड़ा उस पर अगर आप थोड़ा विवरण करें.
So good afternoon, everyone. So Anuj, before I get to that, actually I've been doing some hard work over here. So I think I need to contribute to the main discussion first, right? So let me maybe try to give the other, the what I feel from the other side. I'm putting myself in the shoes, and actually I'm looking for a new car right now. Okay. So imagine Delhi, right? You go to a place like Bikaji Kama, there's a line of showrooms over there. And I wanted to test drive a Mahindra when the Mahindra SUV initially came. First, when I reached over there, though it had been confirmed to me, I didn't find the car only available, right? After that, they told me wait for half an hour because the car has gone for a drive. Now, there was so much of traffic, though he told me half an hour, there were two vehicles which they had. Those vehicles did not come back for 45 minutes. Why? Because something happened, they got stuck somewhere in between. I left the showroom. And somehow it left an impression in my mind that, boss, this maybe buying, the Mahindra SUV, the new one, may not really be my cup of tea. And then I got busy, and eventually, of course, it's a different story. The plan only dropped. What am I trying to drive home? What I'm trying to drive home is when a funnel gets created, maybe the first time when I saw this car in a newspaper or online somewhere, from there till the time I come to the showroom, I get an experience, because if you're retailing, you want me to come to the funnel and be able to, without much friction, be able to take a decision to experience this car so that I can, take that decision to purchase the car, right? A lot of AI, so I would say there are a lot of small jigsaw puzzles of the AI which can actually be fit into this entire process. So what I'm maybe trying to share with you all is what should be the, the TCX, the total customer experience, what it should be. So maybe from the point where I maybe saw this, which was a QR code which I scanned, there was an alert which went to a system, a chatbot started interacting with me, started throwing some interesting questions, which is actually, he is trying to figure out, am I actually serious about purchasing this car or not? Driving me to a point, actually connecting me with a human, if it is really required, is this guy serious in purchasing that car? Making sure that when I want to come to the showroom, the car can actually be available for me. If a car is not available, there's a lot of immersive technology which is coming in, right? The AI plays a role over there. Can I have some kind of gamification? Can I have a simulator being developed in today's day and age, which can actually give me a very close experience to the car in case the car is not available? Because it's all about keeping the customer interested, right? You want him to purchase that vehicle. That is one part of the story. Once, in case I do buy this car, The other aspect is how engaged am I actually kept, what I call the customer stickiness. How can he get a upsell or a cross-sell from me? How can he keep me interested just in that particular brand? If I've been a let's take any company, for example Hyundai. How can he make sure that he keeps me totally attracted to the Hyundai range of cars? So that is one aspect of how the customer is brought into the funnel. You actually make that conversion happen. Use AI to get a lot of information about him. Make the conversion happen. And as far as the vehicle is concerned, if there can, when a person is purchasing a car, many a times finance becomes an issue. If you can get some finance history on the guy, if you can get some history on in terms of what is his credit rating, can he actually purchase this car immediately? How can we give him some interesting finance options? These are all data points which can be driven into this process.
कमांडर साहब, आपने एक क्रैश कोर्स करा दिया पूरा ऑटोमोटिव रिटेल में, एंड एक्चुअली दिस हैज सेट मी थिंकिंग, व्हाई आर वी टॉकिंग अबाउट एआई इन ऑटोमोटिव रिटेल? आई थिंक पहले तो मुझे लग रहा है टॉपिक ही गलत है, क्योंकि व्हाई इफ मोमेंट वी से एआई इन ऑटोमोटिव रिटेल वी आर फिक्सिंग आवरसेल्फ टू ओनली ऑटोमोटिव रिटेल, जबकि अभी कंपटीशन सिर्फ ऑटोमोटिव से नहीं होना चाहिए. व्हाट स्टॉप्स अस फ्रॉम कंपेयरिंग आवरसेल्व्स टू विस्तारा, टू चायोस? मैं एक 90 रुपये की ग्रीन टी लेता हूँ, मुझे वहाँ जाके, वो भी तो रिटेल ही है. व्हाट कैन ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस आई एम गेटिंग? नाइस एसी, स्माइलिंग, वेलकमिंग वॉइस. They ask me to scan the QR code on their tab. Immediately it says, hello, welcome back, my name. Then it shows me I am just one cup or one order away from a free chai, or I have these many points. I can scan so many things. I get deals on the spot. So 90 रुपये की ग्रीन टी ले रहा हूँ मैं. यहाँ पे तो हम कितने लाखों की गाड़ियाँ लेते हैं. तो वहाँ तो कस्टमर का आप थ्रेशोल्ड देखिए. कस्टमर इज़ यूज्ड टू अ थ्रेशोल्ड. 90 रुपये की ग्रीन टी में वो मिल रहा है, पर अगर वो लाखों रुपए की गाड़ी लेने जाता है, वहाँ पे उसको वेट कराना पड़ता है, या वहाँ एसी काम नहीं कर रहा, या वो जो उसके बाद फनल के बाद जो अंदर आता है उसको बोल दिया जाता है, सर अगर इंश्योरेंस हमसे नहीं ली तो हम गाड़ी आपको नहीं बेचेंगे. You kind of get arm twisted. You still get arm twisted because OEMs have a limited say. So how can AI be used not just to power the automotive retail, but to make them, benchmarked in a retail way, in a global way, not just restrict ourselves to automotive, क्योंकि उसको 90 रुपये की ग्रीन टी में एक वर्ल्ड क्लास एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहा है AI powered. यहाँ की बात करते हैं आप.
So Anuj, I would thanks for bringing that out. What even I would like to add to this is, so most of the cars are connected online right now. We have a 4G SIM, hopefully in the future it will become a 5G SIM. So actually every automotive company has a direct access to that guy. He's got a dashboard. He can send him some interesting information over there. Engagement. It's about continuous engagement. Not only that, seeing how stringent the norms are becoming. Gone are the days you could, khicho a car for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. You're getting a lot of good health information about the car. One aspect is, yes, bringing the car in for servicing that time. There can be a public-private partnership over here for compliances, which will kick in. And most importantly, help the guy even dispose of the car maybe at the right amount of time. Trigger that in. So you have a tie-up with actually, you can have a separate BU which is actually dealing in second-hand cars, which will actually tell the person when is the time to change the car. I mean, the possibilities actually are endless.
In fact, that I would add to it. Last year, Shashank ji, the ED of Maruti, was here in the 6th edition of WAFit, and he shared a wonderful story. They had a WagonR customer 4-5 years back, and they were targeting the customer, giving him or her, customized deals. And when there was a notification in their analytics that, hey, this customer has been reasonably happy with the ownership, no flags in the service, and now this customer is ready for the next purchase. So they on their own called up that customer, and that customer was delightfully surprised, actually zapped, that how do you know I'm planning my next car? And then he said that, hey, my daughter is now grown up and she's ready to go to college, and because I'm so happy with my existing WagonR, we would like to go for the next gen WagonR. And they bought that vehicle. So that's how, AI is being used in a very proactive way, constructive way. You save on so much of your funnel time, lead time, spending money to generate leads. it's ready business for you to grab. So now coming to, so as the clock shows just 11 minutes, so if we can just quickly do a minute each of our key takeaway, and if we can start with you, Rajeev Taneja-san. What kind of things you feel, you would like to implement? Need not just be AI, but what kind of technologies you see you would like to implement in your organization next 2 or 3 years?
Okay, see, basically, when it comes to AI, you need to understand the right use cases for AI, because AI, like I said, AI works on data modeling, so you need to have a lot of data to, develop the AI on that. What we are thinking, like AI is already there, we are working in logistics, and now on the manufacturing side of it, we are, in next 2 to 3 years, we are working on creating a IoT platform for all our factories, wherein all our machines are connected, all our plants are connected. Like I said, we want to have a connected, intelligent, and connected enterprise, and using the 5G technology. This is one area which we are working, and the next thing, using low code, no code platform. We would like to do a faster development for our applications. A lot of automations which can be done using low code, no code. And the last thing is the AR and the VR thing. How to train our workforce, whether it is a dealer workforce or our internal workforce, how to use AR VR technology for training them.
Something, Rajeev-san, something emerging tech for safety, because safety has always been an important pillar for Honda. So something on safety. Okay,
so see, you're right. So we have a global mandate, global 2050 vision, I would say, from Honda, that we should have 0 fatalities on Honda automobiles and vehicles by 2050. Now, this is the broad vision, and we are working towards it from, not only from the design point of view, like for example, it's because it talks about all Honda automobiles, mostly in the car side, 4-wheelers, we are working on a lot of technologies, like for example, if a pedestrian is crossing, you get some alert kind of, your, the seat belt tightening automatically happens, or, your seat vibrates. So those kind of technologies, we are working. And when it comes to 2-wheeler, we are also thinking, for example, there is a speed limit, on the roads, and but people don't take care of it, and we have all data available through GPS. Can we really create a model, AI model, wherein based on the speed limit which is defined for the roads, when you are driving, your speed automatically gets governed. So if it is 60 km per hour, your vehicle should not go beyond 60 km per hour. That kind of thought process, we are having in our minds for our automobiles.
Rajeev-san, something on the mobile menace, whether if a person is in a car or in a 2-wheeler, गाड़ी में फ़ोन पे बात करते हुए जा रहे हैं, they're not using hands free, और 2-wheeler में तो हेलमेट में ही फ़ोन यहाँ अटका दिया और जा रहे हैं बाइक चलाते हुए. Some mechanism by which their family or kin can get a notification that your son, daughter, husband is on the phone. सर खाना उनका जब घर वापस आएंगे. Some innovation tech powered to kill this mobile menace.
So not from that perspective, but yes, for example, if you met with an accident, or if there's a collision which has happened, so can the people around you who are Honda customers, because we have data for all Honda customers, so can some alert goes to them, to your family, and to the nearby Honda drivers, so that early help can come to you, and we can save your life. So from the global vision, there should be no fatality. If we are able to take you to the nearest hospital, at least there is no fatality. From that point perspective,
that golden hour response time, which is most critical post an accident. Okay, fair enough. So coming to you, Yogender, your key takeaway from the discussion, and how you plan to implement some tech in the next few quarters or years.
Right. So there are certain areas, where we would like to evolve our technology. So one would be, of course, customer service. So there is going to be more and more prediction. This is about using the data on consumption pattern of a given user, and to see how we can plan to give a better experience on the next ride. Then it's more about predicting traffic, predicting, say weather to minimize the delays, service failures. That's one area. Then another area is automation. So, we are being a premium car rental service. We are differentiated from say a ride-hailing service that, the quality has to be assured each and every time. But still, we would like to be on the model where ride-hailing runs. When you book a Ola, Uber, there's no manual intervention. It's all technology which do the mix and match. So we would like to reach there. And lastly, every business is it's all about efficiency and optimizations to improve your bottom line. So there again, we would like to use technology, particularly in case of with the advent of EVs, and that too, particularly in car rental. So that requires a next level of management of finding the next charger, finding the charging cycle, that duration. So all the optimization and efficiency to be derived from there.
I think that will need a lot of optimization. Also, when you are connecting the rider to the vehicle, whether that vehicle is adequately charged for that longer duty.
Exactly.
That's very important. And I think what you mentioned, that heat map of demand supply,
right.
Even the leading car hailing apps have not been able to figure that out. So many times it happens, and I'm sure it would happen with many. You get into a Uber or a Ola or XYZ, they'll say, "Saab, subah se wait kar raha tha, pehli duty aayi hai."
Exactly.
It's such a common thing to hear.
Right.
It's such a common thing. Or they say, "Gurgaon se ab khali aana padega wapis."
Exactly.
So of course, so demand is there, but they are not there where the demand is. So if you can even crack this heat map, I think it's going to be a big innovation.
Sure.
And can be a WAF award nomination too.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so Dilip sir, your key takeaway?
So I think, my key takeaway is that at this current stage, the adoption of AI in the retail ecosystem is at its infancy stage. Okay, and when you look at the adoption of AI in the automotive, the consultants have got a way to actually show in some segments it's high, but the true potential of leveraging of AI in the automotive industry, we've not even scratched the surface. But just to give you an example, going forward, and Carzonrent model could be a model for fractional ownership of vehicles, right? Just to make it simple for you, kids go to school between 7 and 8. Parents go to office between, let's say, 8 and 10. Schools finish 12 to 2. Parents come back at 5 or later, whatever it is. How do you make sure that using artificial intelligence or machine learning or using algorithms, right, and using the technology that has been developed, let's say here, you can allow, and without an Ola, Uber coming in, you actually allow for fractional ownership and fractional movement of people. So the car doesn't do one trip and wait in the parking lot for 8 hours, but does 8 trips and in the parking lot for 1 hour. It's really the transformative power of machine learning and artificial intelligence that could transform the way that we look at transportation. It can, you won't have fixed routes of buses. You will have various routes of buses and various types of buses on the road at different points of time, not a 40-seater going with 10 or a 10-seater with people hanging out. So the whole way we look at transportation is going to change in the next 3 to 4 years as we go ahead.
I think that's a very, very important point which Dilip sir has mentioned. I think that is the true essence of shared mobility. If a shared mobility vehicle has to wait in the parking lot or has to wait at the roadside and the driver is complaining, "Saab, subah se pehli duty aayi hai," it defeats the very purpose of shared mobility, because that has been the premise that majority cars are used just for 15 to 20% of the time, hence shared mobility. So even after that, if it's just double, it's insufficient. As simple as that. So Manish, your key takeaway on these technologies?
Sure. So for SAMIL, about 3-4 years back, we used to have a COE, Center of Excellence, as an AI. Now, entire our development team is AI. So that's the first big change. Point number two, coming to adopting to a, even the next generation sort of technologies, which is generative AI. So about few months back, our technology team started adopting, and we have changed the KPIs as well of our technology team by 30% higher productivity. And we are seeing that results already. Coming to some of the challenges associated with the generative AI, more on the codes which are coming out through the generative AI, which are not scanned for the hacks in it. These are very vulnerable. Now, even the further advanced technologies, for example, AWS has come up with a code whisper. These are scanned, VAPT sort of vulnerability assessment, or these certified code which can actually be injected into your code base. That further enhances the speed of the development. So that's one big change that we're already seeing. Coming to the business side, on the retail or all the functions, we have a strategy for each business function, be it marketing, be it sales, be it accounts, finance. Every function has got that use case to work on, which is going to improve ultimately improve the customer experience. How we going to be serving the customer faster with the accurate information. Like sir also talked about NFTs sort of things. Eventually, the way the government is doing for these properties, how they are marking the NFTs. Ultimately, these are validated information by the government of India. This actually adds the authenticity of the information about the owner and the other things. It just adds to our business, and we are not running out of the business.
Manish, whenever I look at your company, only one word comes in my mind. आपका जो पूरा का पूरा जो business है, पूरा का पूरा business, it is built on just one word, and that is trust. Because in a finished good new vehicle yard in a plant of any manufacturer, every vehicle would be of the same MTOC. But here in the pre-owned, every vehicle is different. If you can guarantee your customer the right product at the right time, at the right price, in the right condition, you have delivered. Absolutely. You have won the customer's trust, or you have ensured the trust. Absolutely. And this entire trust chain has to be empowered by tech, people, process, SOP, whatever.
Absolutely.
So, पूरा धंधा ही आपका trust पे है.
Absolutely. As in service, and trust is our core, and not just the product that we are selling, but through the people and through the processes. Every point of interaction is through the technology, so that everything is verifiable, auditable. At every stage.
जो आपके price point, price predictive engine है, if you can use this technology and ensuring कि buyer को लगे कि मुझे 2 पैसे extra मिल गए, seller को लगे मेरे 2 पैसे बच गए. Yes. अब वो कैसे आपको optimize करना है, so that those guys keep coming back to you. Yes. So commander साहब आप तो अभी भी notes ले रहे हैं भाई, डर लग रहा है हमें. यहाँ कहीं आप submarine तो नहीं बना दोगे एक?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, so the customer experience part has been done. So I totally agree that trust and satisfaction, I would like to add to that. So customer trust and customer satisfaction is what about, and we have to see how we can be actually using AI use cases to achieve that. Now let me cover the part what you had actually asked me. So what bhi aana hai? I'll take 2 minutes quick. So if you look at what the defense is using AI for, we are using AI as a co-pilot. We are using AI as a co-pilot in almost every possible activity which we can think of. Because we call it, the IDA, the information decision action loop, or the observe, orient, decide and act loop. Decision making has to be made quick, but you cannot have the human missing from the loop. So there are certain things which came in my mind, because essentially a car is
इस point पे खास तवज्जो दी जाए. You cannot have human missing from the loop. So people are feeling insecure, now feel rest assured.
So the co-pilot, if you see even aircraft, we've got a co-pilot concept even on a ship. So the co-pilot can do certain things, but I definitely do not subscribe to the Tesla way. Right, the human has to be there in the loop. Now, essentially, what is it's a mobile platform. It's an IoT device. It may be one IoT device. It may be multiple IoT device. It is connecting to a network. If it is on a network, it is vulnerable. There is an attack surface. If you leave it totally in the hands of AI, AI works on data. Data can be poisoned. Generative AI works on prompts. Prompts can be injected. you are making us a very vulnerable. So you have to make sure that you keep your AI-driven machinery safe with human checks and balances. Now, we discussed a safety point, the mobile phone. Imagine a scenario, your car, when you switch on the car, you actually have a built-in test. On ships, we call it the see and action check. There are some 20 very critical checks which have to take place before the ship can move out. Your phone connecting on Bluetooth being one of those checks. And the phone, the car actually asking you twice. जैसे आपका सीट बेल्ट का अलार्म बजता रहता है, जब तक आप सीट बेल्ट लगा नहीं रहते, वो पूछेगा, confirm your Bluetooth is off, confirm you want the phone to connect on Bluetooth, right? At least वो अपनी drill पूरी करेगा. It is at least trying to make you safety conscious. अब उसके बावजूद भी अपना phone Bluetooth पे connect नहीं करना चाहते and you want to risk, taking a phone call, that is your call. But these safety features will actually help in, making things more safe. Now, there are other things which are coming in, like a safe distance. You can set that thing, bumper to bumper driving. Unfortunately, Delhi में हम सबको करनी पड़ती है, but you can have a safety mechanism over there also. What about accident protocol? You have an accident, the car should, like the Apple Watch does it, right? ज़्यादा जोर से झटका लगा, again, we would have to have, I would say, thresholds, but a mechanism wherein a distress alert going out, a call going out to near and dear ones. Actually, I think these are really some interesting features which, we could look at. So AI can, at least when you look inside the cockpit of the car, safety, comfort, alertness. I would call it non-activity monitoring. Yes, आप ये यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे पे चल रहे हो, अकेले चला रहे हो गाड़ी. There should be a mechanism in case it sees you dozing off, you get an alert from your car. Non-activity.
All these are ADAS,
ADAS
initiatives,
features,
and they are already, the good thing is they are already percolating down to the mainstream vehicles. Like that auto emergency stop is there, Kunal, the VP Honda Cars, was there last year. He said, if you try to use the emergency auto stop in the new Honda City, you will never be able to experiment it because you will eventually, press the brake. But if you are distracted for that split second and you're about to ram into someone ahead, it will surely automatically, pull the brakes.
So I'll end with that. What I wanted to tell you is, so this is actually all percolating down from the defense because you have to assess. It's when you're engaging with the enemy, it's all about who fires first. And of course, with precision.
Expensive, warheads. तो अगली बार किसी को नोटिफिकेशन आए यार वो उसका डिस्ट्रेस अलर्ट आ गया एप्पल वॉच से, उसको फ़ोन करो यार, अरे मैं तो अपने बच्चे को थप्पड़ मार रहा था. So anyways, jokes apart. So I think that's a wrap. So any questions or we are done? Okay. Can we have the mic there? We'll just take 2 or 3 questions because, we're running behind time.
Manish ji, this is for you. So you spoke about multiple AI
Closer,
use cases.
please. Yeah.
Yep. So you spoke about multiple use cases how you use AI, right? तो उस पे
I can't hear you, sir. Just closer to the mic closer, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Manish ji, you spoke about multiple use cases, right? AI में, like price X, for example, model prediction like that, right? So it has many inbuilt sort of variations, right? Say, for example, if COVID comes or economy slows down, if the COVID comes or economy slows down, the price X model should sort of auto-recorrect, or else, as sir said, your human intervention always होनी चाहिए, right? So how does that typically work?
Okay, so like all these algorithms, there are always outliers. Right?
Yeah.
And then we have to actually see through demand and supply. It's always plays its own role. So there are price drivers, as we understand, through a lot of economics sort of a thing. So these all affect the price in a different way. So there are price indices that usually followed, and I think these are all valid and these are all considered for the price predictions.
Okay. So there's somebody who keeps actively checking every day, every week, every month of these indices, and then you keep sort of retraining your AI models like that?
Yeah. So there is a fixed interval from where these data are again injected and models are rebuilt for the precision of the price prediction. Does that answer?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so no more questions. Can we wrap up? All right, that's fantastic. So all questions are answered, all doubts are cleared. Thank you so much. Okay, one last question. Yeah. Ma'am, please help our dear friend.
My question is for Mr. Dilip.
Dilip sir.
7 years ago, 8 years ago, I was in US doing my master's, and Google at that time came up with a self-driving car initiative. I watched a YouTube video. Someone on that YouTube video was talking about, well, if self-driving cars becomes a reality, I would buy a self-driving car, go to my office, work in my office, and make my self-driving car do trips from point A to point B, make money. While I'm making money, my self-driving cars will also make money. So point I'm trying to say is, YouTube 7 years ago was way ahead than where industry is today. Example number one. Example number two, 5 years ago, I was reading about 3D printing, and someone on YouTube was talking about how they could make a child draw a car on a piece of paper, give it to a 3D consultant to create a 3D model out of it, and use a 3D printer to build a fully customizable 3D printed car and give it to the child on his birthday using a drawing that this 18-year-old child designed for his own car.
What's the question, sir? If you
The
can
question
come to the
is,
question.
we always keep saying that universities are way behind where the industry is. My question is, based on these two examples, industry is also a little behind where YouTube is. How can we merge that gap in future?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question. The difference between the time that you were in university and the time that is today is that there are people like you and others in this room who are thinking of how they can attack people sitting in the panel, how they can create a new model of business using IT and digital technology to disrupt the manufacturing process, let's say in an OEM, or how can they disrupt the car rental model, or how they can disrupt the second-hand vehicle model. And they don't need to post it in YouTube. They just come, they can raise money. Raising money for such things is very, very simple, and getting into business and starting from a hyper-local model, quickly go local and then national and then global. And you're seeing that if you take the entire automotive value chain, at every point of the value chain, dealership, services, tire change, oil change, exhaust, this thing, you're actually seeing this thing being disrupted at a rate much faster than it was a few years ago.
Okay, so thank you very much, friend. That's a wrap on this discussion. By the way, मजा आया? कुछ फायदा मिला? Yes, no, maybe. कुछ फायदा हुआ? Yeah, boring था. Okay, how many of you learned something new? New idea. Now, how many of you promise that you're going to use that idea somewhere in your work or your job or business and not just leave it here? You're going to use it, huh? Promise yourself. These are transformative ideas. दुनिया आप बदल सकते हो, औरों की भी अपनी भी. Just apply. Action. Dialogue to action. Anita ma'am, all yours.
Thank you, gentlemen, for all the new ideas that have been generated here today. I would like to invite Mr. Kanishk Gaur, founder and CEO, India Future Foundation, and Ms. Manmeet Randhawa, Head Corporate Communications and Strategic Alliances, as well as someone from MG, if they are here, to please come on stage and felicitate our panelists. If you can come on stage. Is Manmeet here? No.
Can we invite Mr. Ajit Boparai and Mr. Ronaja Mukherjee to please felicitate our partners here? Okay. You are just 2 seconds late. Please come.
Please come.
Please come to felicitate. Please come.
Mr. Dilip Chenoy. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Manish Panjwani. Commander Aditya Varma. Applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Rajeev Taneja. Sir, please stay on stage. We need you for a photograph. Mr. Yogender Verma. Round of applause, please. Yes, please, all of us, please join for a photograph here. Maybe we can all come in front of the tables.